All right, coming up on this edition of Today's Verdict, the Legal Aid Society has just launched a groundbreaking public awareness campaign, Do NYC Justice. Today we speak with Takeasha Newton from the Community Justice Unit at the Legal Aid Society. And finally, are you a legal professional looking to stay ahead of the curve? Well, the Bronx County Bar Association is rolling out its latest continuing legal education programs, and we've got the scoop. As you can see, we have much to get to, so stay tuned. Today's Verdict starts right now. All right, well, hello and welcome to Today's Verdict, the interactive show that gives you your legal rights and options. I'm your host and trial attorney, Davidh Lesch. Today's Verdict is always encouraging you to stay connected, so make sure to tweet me at Davidh Lesch and hashtag Ask Today's Verdict if you have a question. And check us out at bronxnet.tv. Do NYC Justice is a bold initiative designed to redefine justice for under-resourced Black and Latinx communities across New York City. To tell us more about this campaign, we have Takeasha Newton from the Community Justice Unit at the Legal Aid Society. Welcome, Takeasha.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Lovely having you. Let's find out a little about you. Okay, tell me what you do for the Legal Aid Society.
Well, my name is Takeasha Newton. Again, I am the lead community organizer in our Community Justice Unit. Our Community Justice Unit focuses on providing wraparound services to our Cure Violence employees and participants at all Cure Violence sites and human justice sites throughout all boroughs.
All right, so let's talk about this program. Do NYC Justice.
Yes.
Where do we even get the name from? Where do we come up with that?
Well, it's a collaboration effort from our unit and our comms relations team. Here at the Legal Aid Society, we believe that investing in our communities is what helps our communities to flourish.
Is that why the program was started, really? Just taking a look at the communities and realizing that they needed some help?
Exactly. Our community members deserve tangible resources in order to restore our communities. Last year, we focused on Your Rights, Your Power campaign, which was the foundation from the height of the stop and frisk. So our campaign was to highlight and educate our New Yorkers on knowing their rights during those encounters.
Because people don't know.
Exactly.
People think that if a police officer automatically stops you and wants to check you out and ask you questions, and they have a right to. You don't really know, what stop and frisk was, how it's not allowed anymore. Mm-hmm. It's there are so many things in the community that that they just don't, that people just don't know. I mean, that even this show teaches people, things that they don't know about the law and your rights and options. But it's nice to have somebody, an organization dedicated to that as well. So tell me, how do you do it? How do you educate the community? How do you make them aware? What do you do?
Yeah, so we have various ways. So when we are out in the community with our partners and we're tabling, we have those resources available. We have Know Your Rights, trifold palm cards. We do gang database workshops. We also do Know Your Rights workshops to educate our community members.
Do you teach them, people in the community, where to go for help? 311 or the different types of agencies that they can go to, mental health agencies. Do you give them like a little tutorial so they know that they're protected?
That is a great question. This is why we launched this campaign, Do NYC Justice. This campaign is focused on all boroughs, and you can find resources there. Resources from job training programs to mental health programs, all those listed there by our Cure Violence and Human Justice partners.
How do you pick the communities? Like, what makes one community needier than another community? How do you decide which one to go for? How do you even pick the borough to start off with?
So we service all boroughs throughout New York City at the Legal Aid Society, and we have our Cure Violence and Human Justice partners working out of all boroughs.
Any challenges that you see that seem to be tough to handle when it comes to the community? Maybe is it maybe getting the word out to them, making them understand that you're on their side? Because everyone's always afraid to meet with anyone that says legal, even if it's the Legal Aid Society. You know, it's always, oh, what did I do? Can I get in trouble? I'm not legal. You know, do you find that sometimes that people are a little nervous?
I would have to say that people are a little nervous, especially some people who are not citizens who may be here and the fear that they may face. However, I am a person from the community. I can relate to my community members.
Where are you from? I mean, what community are you from?
I am from Brooklyn and Queensbridge. So when I am interacting with my community members, they are very relaxed and receptive. You know, they are not fearful of looking for resources. My community members are actually happy to see me in the community. I even go back to the communities where I came from to bring resources to community members that I grew up with.
Well, give me an example. What kind of resources are you bringing, let's say, to Brooklyn? What does Brooklyn need?
Okay.
And maybe Bronx doesn't need, or Queens may not need.
All boroughs need legal education and resources.
And TV shows that teach you exactly what you should do if you have a legal problem.
That's right.
And that's why we have community broadcasting throughout all the different boroughs.
That is very accurate. And I'm sure that we have a lot of viewers that focus on your education, David. But all of our boroughs in New York City need the same things. We need resources. And dialing 311 or 911 isn't always the way for people who look like me. Yeah. So to have our landing campaign page where people can go and get tangible resources for things that they are facing, to where they don't have to dial 911 and be worried about harms when they are actually looking for help.
Well, where do you find the attorneys or the legal help to volunteer for this type of work? I assume it's volunteer work. Am I correct? Or do you pay attorneys for it?
We have plenty of attorneys at the Legal Aid Society, and not only just our community justice unit, we have other units where our attorneys join together collectively to give our community members the resources that they deserve.
All right, so here's a question for you that I've been wondering. Are there particular programs or initiatives that you're proud of? That's something that you've been involved with and you really feel good about?
Yes.
Tell me.
One of those things that I feel very good about is by working on a bill and seeing it through. The Clean Slate Act is a bill that I helped get passed.
Tell us about it.
Yes. So the Clean Slate Act is a bill that focuses to restore people who have been convicted of felony or misdemeanor convictions.
And what do you mean restore?
So how I explain it, and I hope you don't mind, David,
I don't mind at all.
If you have made a mistake, that mistake would follow you for the rest of your life, just like your birth certificate. Through the Clean Slate Act, it gives people a second chance. If you have been convicted of a misdemeanor charge, after 3 years of completing your sentence and not having any open cases, your record will be automatically sealed. For those who have felony conviction charges, after 8 years, no open records, and you have paid your restitution, that record will be automatically sealed.
So it probably helps you when you're applying for a job or you're doing different things where somebody's going to be searching to look you up and to check you out, and it
Yes.
turns out that it's been sealed or removed.
That is the purpose of the Clean Slate Act. So many, hundreds and thousands of people are affected by these charges. This will actually, I see it as restoration for community members, because can you imagine not being able to get an apartment or not being able to go to college, just because you have convictions on your record?
Yeah, they follow you. I talk to my son about this all the time. Mistakes can many times follow you, especially if you're on the net and you do something. It's hard to get it off.
Yes.
It's live and learn. Let's talk a little bit about some of the gangs in the communities. What have you been doing about that?
Well, we identify that in our communities, Black and Latinx communities, it is over-policed. And due to this, we have many of our youth that end up in jails and prisons, which are places where they don't belong, just because they are labeled as gang members, primarily just because of the neighborhoods where they live.
I mean, but are the gang members doing anything for the community that's beneficial? Or is it just that you don't want people labeled a gang member, so?
Well, that is the thing, you should not label someone just because of a color that they wear or just because of where they live. People can't control living in NYCHA developments.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be something that is used against our community members.
What are you, we don't have too much time, but what are you most proud of? What makes you, think this was really just a great program that I put forth, whether it's Clean Slate? What do you love about what you do?
What I love about what I do is the feeling that I go home with at the end of every day.
And what feeling is that?
Feeling purposeful, feeling free, feeling like I assisted people throughout my day.
Okay, by the way, where do we find you if we need you?
If you need me,
Yeah.
you can find me at the Legal Aid Society, T. Newton at legalaid-ny.org. Please continue to follow our campaign at legalaidnyc.org.
And you come back on maybe in the next couple of months?
Sure, I would love to,
Well,
David. Thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure having you. All right. Thank you, Takeasha. We have to take a quick break, but we'll be right back right after this.
Hey, Creative Family. My name is Timothy Coleman, and I'm the Director of Education here at BronxNet. And I'm standing in BronxNet's Media and Technology Studios in the South Bronx, because I want to let you know about an amazing program that we're bringing back that highlights the creativity of community members just like you. Emerging Media Makers is a show that introduces you to BronxNet's certified producers. They've taken a step in their creative journey by enrolling in BronxNet's media training classes. On this show, you'll get to see the many ways that our certified producers have created a space that's all their own. Emerging Media Makers, your passion lives here.
Only 57% of New York City high school students are college ready by their senior year. "55% of high school graduates either have no plans to attend college or are uncertain that they will ever attend. 34% of young adults don't go to college because they can't afford it. Discover what's possible. BronxNet's education programs, internships, and opportunities help engage and inspire Bronx youth and beyond to pursue their passions. Be a part of the BronxNet family. Whether you're interested in our shows, joining a class, or donating to support our mission, visit bronxnet.org to learn more.
All right, welcome back. Whether you're aiming to meet your continuing legal education requirements or simply seeking to sharpen your skills, here to tell us more about what the Bronx County Bar Association has in store is Donna Cook. Donna, first of all, nice to see you. It's been a while. You've been on the show before.
I have.
You know, what have you been up to? What have you been doing?
So when I came here last, I was here to speak about a CLE that I had presented as a faculty member. And since then, I've become the CLE chairperson for the Bronx County Bar Association. So now my responsibility is to plan and moderate all of the CLE programming throughout the year for the Bronx Bar.
All right, well, let's take a step back, start from the beginning. What is a continuing legal education program?
Yeah, so a continuing legal education program is a requirement in order for attorneys to maintain their legal license. So in the state of New York, a person who is licensed to practice the law has to meet a certain requirement of CLE credits per year. They're also divided into categories. So they want to make sure that attorneys are staying sharp in their skills. So there's skills credit. They also want to make sure that attorneys are complying with the ethical rules. So there's ethics credit. There's new categories that have been introduced in the last few years, and that includes diversity and inclusion and also cybersecurity.
Is there a certain amount of credits that you have to take for each category?
Yes, so it's very specific.
Okay.
So each year you have to take 24 credits, and then the ethics credits you have to take a certain amount per well, it's a 2-year cycle. So in those 2 years, you have to take a certain amount of ethics credits, a certain amount of one diversity credit, and one cybersecurity credit.
Does there seem to be a preference from some of the attorneys who want to do the legal aid? Is it want to do the continuing legal education? Is it a preference for criminal law, personal injury law, family law, or what's hot, maybe DWI? Is there something that people reach out to you and say, I'd like to really see something on this?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the Bronx County Bar Association is made up of members from both the criminal side, the civil side, and then within the civil side, there's family law practitioners, there's wills, trusts, and estates practitioners, there's trial attorneys. So the needs that I try to meet are diverse. So I try to have courses each year that are a variety to cover all of those needs. I also try to make sure that I have faculty members that teach from the defense perspective and also the prosecution or the plaintiff perspective.
Well, I think that's very important.
Yeah.
So it's fair. Where do you find the faculty to do this for you, or the staff, or the attorneys to volunteer?
So I have a lot of returning faculty members who have taught for us before, and they want to come back with a different topic or an update on their previous topic. We also have a board for the Bronx County Bar Association who are members who are heavily involved, and they are great practitioners in their respective fields. And so we will have them come in and teach a course about family law or elder law or trial tips or deposition tips.
You know, I was on that board for a while, and I remember the discussions that we would have. If we had an issue or a problem, we would just look across the table and say, certainly for myself, who doesn't do criminal law, I'd say, I have an issue here with one of my clients, and I'd reach across the table, and next thing you know, I got an answer.
Yeah.
It was a great resource for me, just being on the board and just seeing people across.
Absolutely. It's like a community where we teach each other, right? We're trying to sharpen each other's skills and broaden each other's knowledge base of the law.
The CLEs, are they generally in person? Are they virtually? Are they a combination? How does it work?
Yeah, so since COVID, we have started to present our CLEs primarily virtually. the advantage of that I see for our attendees is that they don't have to interrupt their workday, leave the office. They can stay comfortably in their home office or at their physical office, and they can watch the CLEs right from their computer or their phone. We also occasionally will have hybrid programs where we will have an opportunity for attendees to be in person in the courthouse to see the program live, and also we will have cameras so that they can watch it virtually.
Is there also a chat feature? In other words, if somebody's watching an attorney give a CLE and they want to ask a question, because you can't look at the television set or whatever it is you're looking at, and try and ask a question with a computer screen or your phone. How do you do that? And how do the attorneys navigate, when to look at the chat, when to answer a question, when to get back to the curriculum?
Yeah. So I typically moderate all the CLE programs. So I am kind of the liaison between the attendees and the faculty members. So we use a Zoom webinar program to present our virtual programs. And through that, there is a Q&A function where anyone who's in attendance that has a question can type it into the chat. And then at times I'll read it to the presenter, to the faculty member. Sometimes the faculty member will address them all at the end of their program. But typically I'll coordinate that in advance and tell the attendees what is preferred. And we welcome questions and inquiries or hypotheticals from all our attendees.
Do you have to be an attorney to take the CLE class, or can anybody from the community just learn a little bit about, get some legal education?
So our CLE programs are available to members and non-members. So the advantage of becoming a member of the Bronx County Bar Association, and you do not have to be an attorney to be a member, we've opened up new membership categories that are for paralegals and for legal staff at the courthouse, and also for vendors and salespersons that are associated with law firms and vendors that provide services to practicing attorneys. If you are a member, the CLEs are completely free, so that's the advantage of being a member. If you aren't a member, we do charge a nominal amount to attend.
I mean, I send tons of clients to the Bronx County Bar Association to find attorneys who do the type of work I don't do. It might be housing or something, or a landlord-tenant, or I don't know, sure. And I'll say, well, just go to the Bronx County Bar Association across the street from my office and go meet with the people inside, see Nareda, and see if you could maybe find somebody who could help you with this type of issue. Because I don't know it well enough.
Yeah.
And they do, and that's a great resource that the Bronx County Bar has.
Yeah, we have our referral service right in the Bronx County Supreme Courthouse in the library, and we are open 5 days a week. And so anyone who has a legal issue and would like to retain an attorney or consult with an attorney, they can go there, and we have a wide variety of practitioners who will be there to help.
What do you have coming up, legal education-wise?
Yeah, so this month, September, we have a employment law series. So I work for a law firm, Kaufman Dalowich, and I do primarily employment law defense. And so I thought it would be fun to have a two-part CLE, one being taught by the defense perspective of employment law litigation, and then from the other side, the plaintiff side. We have two members of my law firm, Jen Shervin and Alicia Talati, and they're going to do the defense perspective of employment law. And they're going to hit on all those hot topics of employment law, what we see come up a lot in our litigation. And then on the other side, for the plaintiff side, we have Delmas Costin. He is a plaintiff side employment law attorney.
He's been on my show many times.
Yeah, he's great, and he's going to do a program that is tailored towards the plaintiff side, but also to help practitioners to spot the issues and decide if it's a worthy case to take on.
And how do you know if the program was done well enough that you want the person back? Is there feedback that you look for from the audience? Did they fill out a form when you'd finished?
Yeah, so we actually do a course evaluation. That's part of our accreditation process. So at the end of every program, there's a course evaluation. And in that course evaluation, they grade a lot of topics, the technology used, the topic, the course materials, the quality of the faculty member. We also ask them to give written feedback, comments, and also let us know if there's other programs they'd like to see. So that's a great way for me to receive that feedback and decide would I like to invite this faculty member back and what other programs can I develop.
You know, I've just started to create a legal education program that I want to present, and the amount of work it takes to research a topic and to present it through a computer or through whatever you're doing, it's not so easy.
Yeah.
It's almost like, you know, doing a television show. It takes you time to kind of learn it. Would you agree?
Yeah. So and to kind of capture that time, not just the presentation time of the faculty member, but all the prep work and also the course materials, because they can be also pretty substantial. We give credits for CLE to the faculty member, and they actually get additional credits for that preparation time and the course materials. So for a 1-hour course, typically an attendee would receive 1 CLE credit, but a faculty member would get 3 CLE credits.
Do you need written exhibits or things from the attorney so that they could look at it and talk about it and put that exhibit on the screen or put that document on the screen? Do you use that?
Yes.
Like a PowerPoint presentation?
Yeah, PowerPoints are often used by our faculty members, especially since we've gone virtual. They're not required. It does make it easier for course materials. So course materials are required for every CLE program, and the accreditation rules require that those course materials be as comprehensive, if not more, than the actual physical presentation. So it should be a piece that the attendees can take away and use as a resource in their practice.
Now, would they print it out? For instance, I'm going to be doing one on trial preparation and the checklist that you really have to follow so that you feel comfortable taking a verdict when it's your time. Do they see the actual checklist on the screen and then they can print it out for themselves? Do you provide it in hand to them so they have it? Like, where do they get the checklist if they want it?
Yeah, so when you register on our website, bronxbar.com, for the CLE program that's coming up, you will get a kickback email that will give you the Zoom link. And in addition to that, there will be a hyperlink for the course materials. So then those course materials you can download, you can print, you can save, and you can reuse for future reference.
Okay, because this is so important. Where do we find you? How do we do this? How do we set it all up?
Yeah. So if anyone's interested in attending a CLE program, you can register for our courses and see our upcoming calendar on bronxbar.com. But if anyone is interested in presenting as a faculty member on any topic, then you can reach out to me individually, and I'm available at donna.cook.esq@gmail.com.
That's wonderful information. I can't wait to do one for the Bronx County
I'm
Bar.
looking forward to having
It's
you.
going to be exciting. I have a long history. My mother's been president of the Bronx County Bar. I mean,
That's excellent.
I'm a big fan.
Yes.
Big fan. So, and hopefully you come back. We haven't seen you in a little bit.
I would love to.
All right, terrific. All right.
Thank you.
Well, that's all the time we have today. I'd like to thank our guests for joining us. And of course, you, the viewers, for watching. If you missed any part of today's show, be sure to check it out at bronxnet.tv. Also, remember, if there's a legal issue or topic you'd like to see on a future edition of Today's Verdict, feel free to contact me at Davidh Lesch at bronxnet.org or tweet me at Davidh Lesch, and make sure you hashtag Ask Today's Verdict. From myself and all of us at Today's Verdict, always remember, know your rights, know your issues, reach your verdict. I'm Davidh Lesch, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks with an all-new episode of Today's Verdict right here on BronxNet. You take care.